Will, the last time we spoke with you was after a practice where it seemed like the offense maybe wasn't where it was at the time. You didn't seem to be happy with the performance. Where's the offense at now? How are you feeling with kickoff 2 weeks away?
It's good. I think just as time's been going on, we've been able to keep progressing, and I think today we made some big steps and a few drives with the ones that we were pretty pleased with. It's a 2-minute drive that went well. So anytime we can get those situational those situations in, and then they work out how we want to, it's good because we get limited reps of those kind of things. And it was much cleaner today than it was that day. That was one of our lower days of camp, and it's been a little up and down, but I mean, we've progressed a lot throughout it, and I'm proud of the guys.
Can you speak on the connection that you have with some of those younger receivers and maybe even some of the newcomers? I know it's a lot of new faces in that room.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just come down to the amount of reps we've been able to get with each other, and having the drills in the off season in the summer for the guys that were here to get the chemistry down with them and to just have the feel of how they're running their routes. We want all the guys to how we run our concepts to be in the same spots at the same times, but there's little differences with how fast some guys are, how quick, how they come out of their breaks, and those intricacies are just things that you can't really get better at unless you just work at it. And we've made sure that every time we get those reps in practice, whether it's in the group period, just us and the receivers, that we're locked in and we treat those reps as seriously as we do with our team reps. And all the young guys, Barion, Dane, Tavion, the new one, and all the other young guys as well, have been able to step up and progress a lot. And especially Barion and Dane, like they're going to make some good plays for us this year. I'm excited.
On that same sense, any tight ends stepping up when it comes to when you're in the passing game opposed to just run schemes?
Yeah. Isaiah Cummings, I knew was going to be a big target for us this year, and I was asking to kind of get him some reps of just some routes that I know that he can be good at and that we need him to be a part of. So we were able to mix in some kind of premier plays for him in the last couple of practices, which has been nice. Jordan Dingle's done a really good job as well too. He made a couple of nice plays out there today. Keaton Upshaw's doing well as well. Brendan Bates. I mean, we got Josh Caddis. Like, that's pretty crazy there. Like, we feel really good about just cycling in whoever. Some guys are better at certain things, but they're all on top of their stuff, and we have confidence in all of them.
How much are you guys ready to just get out there? I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of work to do. You're ready to get out there, right?
No, I mean, it's fun playing against our defense, but I mean, we're ready to move on and focus on Miami, Ohio. And camp's fun and competitive and all that, and it's really nice to get those good reps. But to dive into a game plan and to really kind of focus in on the exact kind of things that we're doing. A lot of the times during camp, it can be overwhelming for especially the young guys, because we're keep building on to what is already in the playbook, and we're kind of just throwing stuff at them. Whereas with the game plan, guys know what we're going to be doing. They know where they're going to be. They're not guessing through a list of 250 plays that they might be running. They know what they're going to be premier for and what they're going to be used for that specific game plan. So I think that's when it becomes a lot more cohesive, and that's when we're able to kind of eliminate most of hopefully the mental mistakes, whether it's with alignment and assignment. So that's what I'm excited for, but mostly just excited to get out there in 2 weeks and ball out.
Does it ever get monotonous just playing against the same guys? You know, playing against your defense every day kind of gets old fast. Right?
No, it's fun. I mean, it's cool because I mean, when you in the beginning of camp, I think we had the upper hand on the defense, and then when they're able to actually kind of see and work on and understand kind of the timing and just the windows of a lot of the concepts that we run after seeing it for 7, 8, 9 straight days, like they get a little better at covering up those holes, so it makes it harder on us quarterbacks to put balls into tighter windows and to just be a little more honest with our progressions and make good decisions. So I think if anything, it's just helped us.
Speaking of going against the defense so much, who's given you in the defensive backfield the most trouble, or a guy that's been impressing you the most?
I got to give Carrington Valentine some props. I mean, he's done a good job at the corner position, making some good plays, breaking up contested balls, breaking on stuff well. Their outside linebackers are doing a good job of playing their responsibilities and their coverages as well. I mean, they got J-Dub and Weave and a lot of those guys on the edge. They're just so long, like they're able to take up so much space with their bodies, which is really effective in the pass game as well as with rushing the passer. And a lot of the stuff that we were able to hit on them easily, say in like the spring or last fall camp, whether it's just like some dump routes of some sort, like they're taking up those spaces and they're reacting and covering up those zones a lot easier than they were in the past, which is good to see.
This time last year, this team was coming off kind of a rough year, that all SEC season. New quarterback, and weren't sure who was going to be the starter, all that. You win 10 games. How do you compare the lead into this season to last year at this time?
Well, for me, it's been great because I've had the whole offseason to kind of work with the guys, whereas last year I got in May and kind of just got thrown into things and was doing the summer workouts and then right into fall camp. So for me to have all the time in the winter and in the spring to work on the guys and get the chemistry down that we so needed because of the new guys that we have at the skill positions helped a lot. And in terms of how we've played, it's been pretty similar. I think there's been some days where the defense gets the best of us. There's been some days where the offense gets the best of them, and that's just how football is. And we just got to make sure that we're just approaching every day, every series, every play, just like it's a new one, and not letting the previous one affect us, which is something I've been preaching to the guys all camp, and just keeping focused. But overall, I think the quality of our camp this year was as good, if not better, than last year, which is great.
Can you sense any more confidence in this group than compared to last year?
Yeah, I think that confidence is something that we try to preach and have all of our guys have. And it's important, too, with a lot of guys stepping into new positions. It's easy to have confidence when you're coming back as your third year starting on the offensive line, or as a receiver. But if you're coming in and this is your first time getting kind of big boy reps in SEC football, it takes a little bit. And it's just with reps, and as the spring went on, and as we got into fall, I kind of felt that confidence in both knowing what they're doing and just in their confidence in themselves as just physical football players has risen a lot, especially on the offensive line, which has been great to see.
Well, what have been your impressions of Ramon Jefferson? What will he bring to the offense?
Yeah, no, he's been a great player for us. We're so solid and deep in the backfield. Like some of those guys are, like I said, with the tight ends, better at doing certain things than other guys. But Ramon's he's like a little bowling ball. He's like kind of a smaller version of Chris, maybe a little shiftier. And he's got a good feel too. He's a smart football player. He's doing a really good job in protection, and he's getting in his spots in the passing game, and he's been able to catch balls out of the backfield. As long as he just plays and how he is and who he is as a player, he's going to get reps for us and make an impact for sure. I'm excited.
What's your take on the quarterback battle behind you?
Yeah, Deuce and Kai have both been doing a really good job. With Bo leaving, it obviously became those two going head to head. One day Deuce has a better day, one day Kai has a better day, and I think both of them, what's been great about it and what I made sure that we kind of made happen even when Bo was here, that as something that I've been a part of as a quarterback and being in a battle and fighting for a position, you never want it to leak into the meeting room. You don't want there to be any animosity between the guys, and that's the one thing I've been most impressed with them is they're always there for each other, looking to tell them what they saw on the field when they come off of a rep, and communicating positively in meetings, and just really trying to better our team more than anything. I think they even I don't know if it's official or anything who the two is, but I know both of them are nothing's official, and I don't know how it's going to shake up. That's the coach's decision, not mine. But they've both been doing a really good job, and I think for them too, what Coach Skangs has emphasized is that their role in this season is going to be more than just being the backup quarterback. They have to be a resource for me. He's going to have specific roles for both of them for game preparation, whether it's looking at personnel and getting kind of tips and reads on certain guys, and looking at stuff film-wise that I might not have enough time to watch, and that's the role that the NFL backup quarterback does, which I wasn't really aware of. They say that they watch more film than the starter, which is cool because there's a lot more on my plate than those guys, and for them to be a resource for me, I'm really looking forward to that.
Have you talked to Bo yet? What's it like when a guy you've been battling for 2 years suddenly ups and leaves?
It's tough. I've been in the same position he's been, so I know how he feels, but the transition for him was so quick. He got down to Tarleton, literally got down there, decided to go there, and it was boom, he was moved out, and a week later he's the starter. And I talked to him a little bit, and I congratulated him when he became the starter, and he said things are going well. They're running kind of a up-tempo kind of offense, so I'm looking to see him kind of whip it around over there. And but he's great. There was no harsh feelings about anyone or anything when he left, and it was pretty understandable circumstance.
How's Drennan looked, and what kind of role has he had?
Who?
Drennan, Michael Drennan?
Yeah, he's doing well. He last year made the transition from wide receiver to running back, and he's been able to make some kind of good plays out of the backfield because of that. He's got good feel in space for like the different kind of routes we run from the backfield, and we feel comfortable about him putting him outside as well. I mean, that backfield is so deep. I mean, if there's anything he's kind of been able to separate himself with from the others, is the passing game and his ability to make balls like catches outside of his radius and turn and make plays. And he's shown flashes throughout camp, and he's been doing well.
Going back to the spring, how do you feel with the comfort level you and Coach Skang and kind of being on the same page as quarterback and OC?
The best things that I guess the most improvement that's been made is like the more times we have situations where we're doing like game-like situations, whether it's like call it and run it, it's opposed to like having a script and kind of having a flow having a feel for the flow of the game, like how the calls are going to be given from the sideline, like reading him off to the O-line, like how he wants to call certain situations, 3rd and short, first play past the 50, like backed up. And these past like 10 days of camp, we've been able to focus on a lot of those. And I think my comfort with him since then has gone up a lot because we've been able to talk through a lot more of how he sees how he's going to be calling games, which is really important.
Do you think he'll be upstairs or down?
He'll be down on the field, I believe. Yeah.
Well, this time of year when the Heisman Trophy candidate lists come out, possible candidates, you're on a lot of those lists. How do you feel about that?
I don't care. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I don't look at that stuff. Like,
Don't pay attention to it?
it doesn't. None of that's ever mattered. So why should I care about it?
I know in the spring you said one of your goals was you wanted to get your pass completion percentage up to 70% or above. Is that a mechanical thing or is that a scheme thing, or what do you do to try to reach that goal?
I think it's decision making. Like I haven't changed anything really mechanically. I think it's more so just consistency. I have the ability to make every throw on the field, and I know that. And if I miss throws are going to happen, and it's just a matter of realizing why it happened and trying to not revert back to that same mistake the next time I get in a situation like that. But it's more so just decision making, turning down things that need to be turned down a little more, coming down, taking some checkdowns more often, living to see another day, and just taking what the defense gives you, while also, like as Coach likes to say, being a baller and trying to make plays sometimes too. You know, like you can't just be complacent and take the checkdowns all day. You got to try to make some plays at some points, and it's a fine line. And I've just been trying to kind of work my way on that line.
How's the offensive line been taking well to these new schemes that Coach Gangrel has been putting in, and his progressions went along? Yeah,
that was the one area or the one position group that I think had the most on their plate in the spring with the new offense. And there was some growing pains at first. And when we got to the end of spring, I was really happy with where we were. And then we weren't necessarily starting all over when fall camp came around, which was nice because we've been having the summer to work on those things and to watch and talk about things with our coaches as well. So we started off in a good spot. Some guys have rotated in based on just situations and who we want to see who can be our guys up there. And some guys have surprised some people and stepped up and made good plays for us and have shown that they can be reliable up there. So I know that they had a lot on their plate, but they've been able to handle it a lot, really, really well. And again, like I was talking about with like the game plan thing, like we might have 12, 13, whatever different run concepts in our playbook, but in a game we might have only a handful of those, you know. So it's going to be good to see what we can do when we figure out what our bread and butters are, and if we just pound into those and know that they know their keys for everything, like we got the skill and the ability up front to push guys around.
What was your evaluation of Takel Crowders? Obviously, he's coming back from a knee injury last year. What's your evaluation of that young receiver?
Yeah, no, from summer workouts. I mean, I just realized that he's just different kind of speed, different kind of explosiveness and athleticism. And for him, it's just kind of the mental side. Like you got to know where to line up, and he's got to know what his responsibility is, as well as the guys around him, and have a feel for space and understanding why the route is called what it is in that specific play. Just need less MAs out of him, and we need him to just be a little bit better on that side. But I know he can be a really good player for us, and I'm trusting in him that he can help get that done.
Is Tavion Robinson being sort of taken for granted because we don't hear much talk about it?
Who?
Tavion Robinson.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's been a starter pretty much since he got here, and he's going to be a top target for me for sure. And we trust him, especially he's the receiver for sure that has the most experience at the Division I level and has a feel and a know for why we're doing things and a knack for just how to position himself. Yeah, he's been solid for us, and I know he's a heck of a punt returner too. So
People will inevitably kind of compare him to Wandale coming in the same kind of situation. What are some of the similarities and differences there?
I mean, they're different players. I think Wandale's probably a little faster than him. I don't know if Tavion would get mad at me for saying that, but he might agree with me there. But Tavion has a really good feel. Being a little bigger, his catch radius is a lot bigger too. I mean, Dale was amazing and he could do some incredible things with his body, but he is limited by his size, and he's not gonna let anyone tell him that. But like, I'm gonna try to give an accurate ball, but even if it is 6 inches off, Tavion might be able to make the catch, whereas Wandale might not be able to. It's just little things like that, and but they both are extremely football smart. I mean, Wandale, we could put him in any position at any play and he'd know what he's doing, and Tavion's the same way. And we've been able to do a lot of great things with him by putting him at Z, putting him at F, just moving him around, trying different things with him, and he just gets it. And that's where I think they're most similar, is just their football IQ and their ability to be kind of moved around like a chess piece within the offense and get them into positions where we want them to be.
You talked in the spring about working on checkdowns, throwing to the running backs within the scheme of this new offense. In terms of the room in general, how has that come? Are the running backs catching the ball well?
Yeah, no, and I think that's been the biggest area of improvement for them, is the trust from me that they're going to be getting the ball out of the backfield, where opposed to last year. I think sometimes they're like, all right, I'm going to stay in protection because he's not even going to get to me or whatever. Or just it was rare that would happen, And I was able to get them a lot of catches in the spring, and they've had a lot of success in fall camp as well. But I mean, Chris, C-Rod alone, like he just his feel out of the backfield and the routes that we ask a lot of these premier routes that we ask a lot of them to run, and his ability to catch and transition has improved a lot, and it was really cool to see that out of him. And Jatan's done a really good job of that as well. It's something we're going to use him for. But all of them have done a great job with it, and it started with us just trusting in our progressions and just getting them the ball more.
Okay, folks, thank you very much.